I Am Setsuna was developed by Tokyo RPG Factory and published by Square Enix. It was originally released in 2016 for the PlayStation Vita, back when Sony gave a damn, and for the, obviously PC and PlayStation 4, and then a year later, 2017, on the Nintendo Switch. This is the PS4 version, captured from my PlayStation 5, just so we are there. Now, this is a story that follows a swordsman called Endir, who gets a quest to find a girl called Setsuna, and she is basically she's the sacrifice. The world is attacked by monsters, and there's an ancient custom that a maiden is sacrificed to appease the monsters, and essentially that's what happens. But of course, events take place, and friendships are made and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is a traditional JRPG. It's got turn-based combat, so for those that hate turn-based combat, you're going to hate it. It doesn't have random battles, though, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, though, I also have to say that the Tokyo RPG Factory only made 2 more games, which is called Lost Sphere, which is not too bad, and Oninaki. I haven't played Oninaki yet, but I do have it, so it's on my backlog. I am getting there. But unfortunately, the studio is now closed down, and they closed down actually this year in 2024, which is a shame, because I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, and Oninaki are pretty cool games. But unfortunately, I do have to sort of be honest and say, even though they harken back to the old retro games of old, which is pretty cool with its layout and whatnot, I Am Setsuna is pretty much just an okay RPG. It's nothing special, in all honesty. It does have really great music. I have noticed that, but being a musician, I tend to really pick up on music quite a lot. But then you don't have to be a musician to respect and like music. But there's also the use of save points on this game. You can save out in the open world map, which, like I said, there's no random battles, so you're not going to run into anybody, which kind of makes it kind of redundant, really. Just kind of like a walk between for the areas. There are some pretty cool characters and some pretty cool monster designs, which is obviously awesome. Now, the turn-based combat is pretty cool. You basically use these crystals called Sprite Knights, and you equip them to your character, and it gives them the ability to be able to use tech moves. And you do start off with some, and you can do combo tech moves as well, which is pretty cool. But it's not super deep or anything, and some of the enemies can be a little spongy. But apart from that, it like I said, it's okay. It's nothing super special. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's not too long either, coming in around 15-ish hours. So if you want to just crack on, you can crack on. It's mainly based around the snowland areas, so just be prepared for a lot of snow. Like I said, there are some cool characters and stuff. You have Endir and Setsuna, and they're all pretty awesome. There's also a very odd way that you get money. I playing the game, I kept struggling because if you wanted to buy new weapons and armor, for example, which you can obviously, they cost a lot of money, and I kept thinking, I'm killing all these enemies, not getting no money. Essentially, the enemies drop things, and I just tend to find. I mean, obviously, if there is another way, please, and you know it, please pop it in the comments. But all I kept doing was just selling items to be able to build up my cheddar, you know. And I don't know if that's the right way to do it or that is the way to do it, but that's what I did, basically. And it's an okay game. I want to be fair. I don't want to be harsh or too critical or anything, but apart from everything I've just said, that's pretty much it. From the gameplay you're seeing, the story, obviously it's not voice acted. There's some cool moments. There's some good characterization and all that kind of jazz, but without spoiling anything for you or going too in depth, it's just a run-of-the-mill, bog-standard JRPG, which I think was its intent to be. It was received pretty well. It does have its fans. It does also have a lot of people who don't like the game, which is odd. They did take inspiration from Chrono Trigger, which is pretty cool. It's not as good as Chrono Trigger, of course, but I Am Setsuna, I'd say, is worth a play if you can get it cheap enough. I don't. Obviously, the studio are now gone, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you can get the game cheap enough, I Am Setsuna is definitely worth playing. But please let me know in the comments down below if you've checked it out. And as always, thank you very much for watching.